My campaign really is run on wasted incompetence. That's what my campaign is run on. Just because I can highlight there's a danger coming down the road doesn't mean I'm concentrating on that or running my campaign on that. Mine is about wasted incompetence. If we want to improve this country, that's what we need to tackle. We need to tackle the fact that 20% of our civil servants are still working from home. We need to tackle that billions of our taxpayer money is wasted every single week and we don't know where it goes to. And we're funding stupid projects and stupid people. And we've got people in our civil services who can't be fired, who produce nothing, do nothing. In fact, are a hindrance to improving people's lives. And we can't even sack them. That's what my campaign is really about. Until we fix the foundations of our society, nothing will change, nothing can get improved, and nothing else can be built upon these foundations at the moment.
A question I'd be asking if I was watching my own show is this: is it the case that the older you get, the more you think, oh, nostalgia isn't what it used to be, that it was all better in the past because we don't remember the bad stuff. We don't remember World War One, World War Two, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Cold War, the Cuban Missile Crisis, because we like to remember the rosy things rather than the bad things. Did it really used to be better?
That's a fantastic point to raise, and you're absolutely correct. Humans will always look back with rose-tinted spectacles. We have letters written 2,000 years ago from Rome saying their culture is failing because of the new generation. We have letters written in Victorian England saying the generation coming up now have no respect for their elders. So you're right. We always look back and we criticise that things were always better. But let's not look back too far. Let's just look back in, several years in our lifetime now. Just a couple of years ago, the NHS wasn't as bad as it was 2 years ago as it is today. The housing crisis wasn't as bad as it was 2 years ago. 5 years ago, we had a border force. 5 years ago, we didn't have people getting boats and coming over to our country. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we didn't have a two-tier policing system where one person can hold a sign at the moment in the UK with a Nazi symbol on it, and the answer is from the police there and then watching it. Or that could be a different context, that Nazi swastika. All right, can it? But then you've got, in the same demonstration, someone holding the Union Jack flag, the flag of our country, and can be arrested for provoking hate crime and violence. It's like, so we don't have to look back 50, 40 years. We just have to look back 2 or 3 years to see the changes and our country's going through. And my point is, they're not good changes and we need to stop them and we need to get back to basics.
The standard of living in this country goes up and down, I know, but if you look at it across 30 years, then there's no doubt that the average standard of living has improved. So also, it could be argued, whatever's going to happen in the near future, I don't know, but it could be argued that we haven't had a world war for 80 years. And these are big successes. That these are actually triumphs we bank and we don't take advantage of in our minds because we just look at the problems.
And that's human nature. So humans are more inclined to be looking for negativity and looking for dangers because that's how we survive. That's how we survived the saber-toothed tiger, was always watching out for danger. So if you're walking through a forest and you hear a branch break, you can either think that's danger, it's wolves, or you can think, oh, it's nothing. But if you're wrong and it was wolves, you die. But if you're right and you climb a tree and it turns out it was nothing, you've lost nothing. So we're programmed to look out for danger. And because we don't have much to worry about now, saber-toothed tigers, violent gangs on the streets, being invaded, starving to death, because we don't worry about that, we now have to worry about very small problems. And that's part of the problem is we're designed to worry, but we've got nothing really to worry about.
Well, it was Harold Wilson, who was a Labour Prime Minister, who said you've never the white heat of technology would make things happen and make it all better. And I think one of the other phrases which sticks in my mind from a former politician in Britain, you've never had it so good. Well, it's sort of true though, isn't it, Nick? Because we have a high standard of living. People have debt, but they're safe. They're not starving. They have interesting things to do. Internet is close to ubiquitous now. Maybe we are the dogs in a manger. Maybe you and I sitting here moaning about what's wrong with politics and their country and society, that we're the curmudgeons. And instead of taking that attitude, we simply say, let's count our blessings. We live in one of the richest countries in the world with opportunities. In a world where I can sit here in Dallas, 10,000 kilometers from you or 9,000 kilometers from you, and we still have a dialogue, which can be watched by the world.
Absolutely. So you're right in that. So we are better off and got a better standard of living than ever before. Um, but that's not a benefit for the people who are living now. As in, we don't judge our happiness based on 2 decades, 100 years ago. We base our happiness on what's happening in our lives today. So every generation has many positives, but some negatives. And some of those negatives will be new negatives. So let's look at the life of a young person in our country today. So the internet's amazing. What we're doing now is amazing, but that also comes with a downside. So a 15-year-old 10 years ago may have been bullied at school, but that was only 6 hours a day. That 15-year-old now can be bullied 24 hours a day now online. So when they're sat in their bedroom, they're still being bullied. So that's a downside to that. And we only have to look at, suicide rates. Let's look at girls self-harming. Let's look at the lunacy of the trans movement, people abusing themselves and cutting parts of their bodies off and committing suicide. So even though in some ways our lives are better, in other ways they've got worse because of the breakdown of the family, because of a loss of religion, because of lack of community. So telling people who are suffering today that they need to chin up and suck it in because you've got a better life than your grandparents had is no consolation to them when they're suffering new issues today. So we need to look at both sides. We need to say to them, you've got amazing opportunities now. It's easier to be a millionaire today than it was 10 years ago because of the internet, because of technology. We travel more. You've got the world's information. You've got the information and knowledge of everybody who's ever existed on the planet in the phone in your pocket. If that can't make you break your chains of poverty, nothing will. So there's lots of benefits, but people still need help and support. If you like that video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell and comment. And if you like what I'm saying about running for Mayor of Greater Manchester, then stick around. Tell your family, tell your friends. The only way I'm going to have a chance of winning is a grassroots movement. So be part of that movement and hit that bell. Thanks.